to get into this deal right now.
Terry, our bosses are not going to let us sell this on television, Terry.
The boss is on vacation, so you win. This is the actual wig from the Rodman wedding, game and honeymoon worn by Dennis and Carmen.
I don't feel comfortable selling this for under 3,200 simoleons, Terry.
That's easy. And you're also going to throw in 4 needles used by the Patriot Deflater. And we're going to throw in a Tom Brady autographed football.
This belongs in a museum, Terry. We're going to get fired, Terry.
It should be in the Smithsonian, but that's not the coup de grace.
No, don't you do it, Terry. Don't you bring it out here.
Here it is, the actual bar used by Sean Stant to whack Nancy Kerrigan in the knee. This, too, is included.
This has to cost at least 900,000 U.S. American dollars, Terry.
Buying it that easy, but today it's only $1.99, and we're going to waive shipping. And when you get the operator on the phone, you tell her the box score starts right now.
Quit it, Terry. No, Terry, no!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. As you can see, things are a bit askew out here. I'm trying to get ready for Dan and the Danettes to come out here all the way from Milford. Currently, they are in Milford. The set will be all ready for them
Out there.
when they arrive. Out there, back there. It's a whole
Brock,
east-west.
has the show been canceled or something?
We were going to bring in, I believe it was a 3rd season of Full Circle, but they couldn't sign the gal from Breakfast Club. Who was it? I can't remember her name. Okay, moving on. Anyway, it is day 2 of DeflateGate aftermath. So that being said, McLovin, how much more before the weekend? This is Thursday. Can we expect for this story to be leaked out?
Which story to be leaked out?
DeflateGate. Any story regarding DeflateGate.
By the way, when you say it's day 2 of DeflateGate, it's day 200 of DeflateGate. We've been talking about nothing else since January 16th.
Do you know what he means? Day 2 since the upholding of the
Oh, okay. So you're saying
suspension.
something new gets leaked out?
Yeah.
We're discussing this. Like, they have a high bar. Like, we need new news every 8 hours or we get really bored. I think something comes out tomorrow.
We've had a good couple of days, though. Yesterday was fantastic for us because Mr. Kraft and Mr. Belichick spoke and didn't speak simultaneously. Brady had his Facebook, I think, during our show or moments before our show. And today, Fritzy did a good job getting the NFLPA's spokesman, George Atallah, right?
Atallah.
I have trouble with that name. And he was really good. So as far as, like, we try to push a story forward, we have both days.
And you have George Atallah, of course, was on from the NFL Players Association, and he talked about what offers and non-offers had been offered to Tom Brady regarding his suspension.
We had made an initial settlement offer to try to resolve this and get it behind us.
What was the settlement offer?
It was, I believe it was no suspension and a fine. And that was met with no counteroffer whatsoever.
Did the NFL offer a settlement offer that was, separate from this?
No.
There was nothing that was going to cut this in half?
No offer was made.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Settlement offers and whatever else. I mean, I know that I'm certainly on one side of this, but it's like somebody's lying, right? Or do people just believe leaked information? I mean, it was sort of the common consensus, and then all of a sudden there were sources that saying, no, it's been cut in half, it's been 2 games, from, like sources that really have nothing to do with this anyway.
But it's nice to get someone who's really close to this, and when they say something, it's now a fact, whether it's true.
So either he's lying like that on TV and radio, or it's true.
Yeah, and when he says it, it's not like, well, a source said this, because I heard I saw a couple of NFL reporters had it moments before we had George on. He said it's going to be moved to Manhattan, sources say. We had the guy say, yes, it's being moved to Manhattan, and actually I found out 10 minutes ago. So it's nice to have the principal on any story. DeMaurice Smith, Tom Brady, his agent, Commissioner Goodell, or one of his spokespeople, those are the only people you want, because everything else is just conjecture.
Fritzy, do you think we'll ever get the full truth of the behind the scenes and what's going on here?
I'm going to say we will not. You know, it would be nice to think that maybe many years down the line, you know, someone will write a book or something like that. But even then, you don't know what's the truth and what's not the truth. If the Brady did some kind of tell-all, or the commissioner or any one of the principal parties decided they were going to, whatever is said, you still got to wonder what's true and what's not. So we're still going to wonder what was on Tom Brady's phone, if it's just a regular thing he does, destroying phones, or if, was there something more pertinent on there that he was trying to hide that may or may not have anything to even do with DeflateGate. So we are going to never get the complete story, in my opinion.
It's going to be generational too. I think it's going to be funny to see, like if you're like 20 now and you never heard the George Brett Pine tar story, and then heard it and saw his reaction in the court case, and they planned to play the end of the game later. You're like, wait a second, because he took a little bit of this black sticky stuff and put it just a little bit over the edge,
Right.
which there's no reason to have a rule in place for this rule.
I still have no idea
Right.
how that's an advantage. What does that
I find this so similar to that. And I bet people are going, wow, all that for that little stupid rule that didn't affect anything? And 20 years from now, I think they're going to say, wow, Tom Brady, one of the first ballot Hall of Famer, missed a portion of his career because of that? Wow.
Hey, McLovin, Atallah also said this is more about league politics. I mean, Jerry Jones came out and patted Goodell on the head. Besides Robert Kraft, is there another owner out there that would speak against the commission regarding this trial?
Oh my God. They're what? So the Patriots are one team. I think there are 31 other owners who secretly hate the Patriots. One, because they win. They kick their tails every year. They've been in the playoffs 11 out of 12 years. Two, okay, I'm going to open a can.
Who lines up Colts, Ravens?
You know how
Giants,
Bill Belichick
Broncos?
is super arrogant in press conferences? Super arrogant. He told a reporter to check his notes yesterday. Beyond arrogant. Has no regard for other humans. I think the Patriots are a little bit like that, probably.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of resentment built towards them. I think they don't suffer fools. They kind of like don't do BS. So I'll bet you a lot of people hate them. That's my opinion. I bet you all 31 owners, except for them, are pissed at the Patriots. And it has nothing to do with deflating balls, by the way. They're just already pissed.
All right, well, the trial is the next step in the DeflateGate saga. And Sal Paolantonio came on today and told us how the judge might look at all this.
Now, in this particular case, I realize that the commissioner's working under the umbrella of so-called integrity in the game, and he has wide latitude to issue any kind of penalty. But the bottom line, any judge, anywhere, especially in the city of New York, Manhattan Federal Court, is going to say, common sense has got to prevail here. How do we get to from $25,000 fine for personnel of the team to a $1.88 million fine, which is the equivalent of the 4-game suspension for Tom Brady? It just doesn't make common sense.
Yeah, this is a great point. When you actually think about the games missing, how much money that is. I know Brady has a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That doesn't matter because it would be the same fine if he was a rookie and this was his first contract. You would think if this was his first contract and he was making blank a year, let's say he was Sam Bradford, his first contract he's making almost this much. So he didn't have $60 million in the bank. He's still being penalized the same amount of money. It's his money, not ours.
Yeah, I think the appeal is going to be interesting because it's going to bring up all these questions like why did this guy get $25,000 and this guy's getting 4 games?
See, the thing that makes me nervous about that, though, is it just doesn't make common sense. When so much of this, to me, is lacking common sense anyway. That why would it start now in the process?
Well, Goodell did say, by the way, he said 4 games because he gives 4 games to PED users, and he considers this a performance enhancer to soften the balls.
More importantly, if I was Italian, I think, and Sal's Italian, I know this, I think I would want my name to be Sal Paolantonio, my nickname to be Sal Pal. Who wouldn't want to be named Sal Pal? You sound like you're a great guy. Everyone must like you. He's a good guy, and I think it's because of his name.
Yeah,
Sal
it's
Pal.
working for Sal Pal.
It is, and he might be a jerk if he had any other name.
But then he sold Jimmy Garoppolo, who's also Italian, down the road during.
That shows he's a good
wasn't
reporter
looking
and
too
not
good
biased.
on the
It
field.
shows he's objective and not playing to the Italian sentiment. Sal's your pal.
All right, arrivederci to this segment. Coming up, what would you do if you found out that you were traded only to find out you were not traded? We will see what the Danettes would do next. What if you got something like a car or a truck you need to trade? Trade it in for the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. I mean, it's a better thing. It's got the 4 wheels, it's the 4 doors, 4x, 2x, any color you want, any color of the rainbow. It's Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Got the story, Ram. We are back here on the box score. The Danettes are all pretty secure in their job. But Fritzy, if you found out mid-show that you were being traded to another show, but the trade didn't go through, how would you react after all that?
I'd be upset. I'd be frustrated. I'd be curious, obviously, as to where I was going. But that's putting the cart before the horse. I would, it'd be very awkward and uncomfortable, and I'd be disappointed and frustrated after everything we've all been through for many years
Would you
together.
quit?
That I'd be on the trading block. I'd have to have some more facts as to what led up to that and why I was being traded, where I was going, and that kind of stuff before getting too crazy. But just without knowing any of those details.
Okay, let's assume you were being traded for a booker who they thought was better, younger, and had more of an upside, and then the deal fell through at the last minute. Would you quit or would you stay?
I would stay until I had something else lined up. You still got to pay the bills and everything. But I would be upset, and I would probably, that would be a sign on the door for me to update the resume and start, aggressively pursuing other opportunities.
Notice he said he'd be curious where he'd be going. Part of you might be relieved, happy to be traded to another show.
Do you have a list of places
where you might
it would be more curiosity than anything else. To who was interested in what.
Is there just a little scrutiny, like, wow, they're not gonna ride me all show?
No, I think it's more, and I think any of us I would believe in any company or any business, if there was someone that was pursuing you or was interested in you, to at least know what that was all about.
What if you were traded to the Playboy Channel?
Ooh.
Same salary, Marina Del Rey, where you used to live.
I'd probably
familiar with the terrain.
Just bought jeans there.
I have to run that by the.
You don't have time. They need to know if you're coming or not. Your wife's at school.
The part of the real thing
if
is.
I wasn't married, that would seem exciting, but that doesn't mean working on a Playboy channel. That's a big leap to that you're going to be, sleeping with.
Does the other company find so much value in you that they're willing to do anything to trade for you, or does this company are they trading away from you, to get rid of you?
Yeah.
That's also part of it.
Is one of the teams taking on a bad
we're
contract?
trying to get rid of this guy,
Salary
or it's just like so good of an offer, like we can't possibly refuse it. That's part of it.
Are you a buyer, or is the team buying or selling?
We
got to get rid of Fritzy. We'll just take these two, interns.
A booker to be named later.
Well, the trade deadline is tomorrow in baseball, and something wacky happened to Wilmer Flores of the Mets last night, and Josh Lewin was front and center for all of it.
How did he find out that he was being traded?
From the fans, apparently. They've all got smartphones, and they all were reading the tweets that did not include the phrase pending physicals, and they're hollering, "Hey, Wilmer, good luck in Milwaukee. Hey, Wilmer, we're going to miss you, buddy. Hey, Wilmer, do you know you've been traded?" And that's a heck of an at-bat to try to go up and have when all that is happening. And Terry Collins had no idea that this was going on. So, he keeps Wilmer out there, and Bob Guerin, the bench coach, actually had to come over to him and said, "Hey, looks like Wilmer's crying at shortstop." And Terry said, "Why? Why is he crying?" And, apparently there's this rumor that he's heard that he's been traded. And Terry said, "Well, nobody's told me that, and I'm the manager."
That's got to be very bizarre. What a unique situation. And it's certainly not the way you want to find out about your employment situation, whether you're on a baseball field or playing for any other team or any company, that people yelling at you, at a ballpark, and that's how you're finding out that you may be moving on. And the other part of that is, I hope most people, or if everyone, doesn't have an issue with the kid crying. He's still a young guy, and he's been with the team since 15, 16 years old, and he's got an emotional attachment to the Mets. And all of a sudden, a bunch of fans on their smartphones are seeing tweets or things on social media, and they're yelling at him, good luck in Milwaukee, and that's how you're finding out that after all your time, you don't know anything other than the Mets organization, and you're out there playing, in a pennant race in New York, and you may be going to Milwaukee at any minute. That's got to be pretty awful, and certainly emotional enough to shed a tear or two.
Yeah. Seton, Dan admitted to watching a Mets game again today. Is there any possibility that he's hopped onto the bandwagon for some reason?
The Met bandwagon? Back in the day, maybe like mid to late 2000s, Dan was pretty big on the Mets bandwagon, because the Mets were good. They had Wright and Reyes, and all of a sudden New York City was a Met town, and everybody was all about the Mets, and the Yankees were so yesterday or whatever. And that lasted about 2 years before they fell apart again. Not that I didn't enjoy that tremendously. But yeah, he He's got a fondness for the Mets because they're not the Yankees and they share the same town, I think.
I've noticed some Mets action coming out of DP the last couple of days. Definitely very noticeable that the Mets are on his, and baseball in general is on his TV.
Do you think he lost his remote control? It's on SNY.
That was my first reaction, yeah.
And Alan, our tech guy, cannot find it, so he's going to stay on the same channel.
It's probably in the cushion.
Well, to his credit, one had it was a perfect game for 6 innings, and one had the crying thing. But still, unless someone alerted him to put the game on, that would mean he was obviously watching up to that moment and was following the Mets for several innings.
That makes me cry that he's sitting around watching the Mets. What's happened to that guy's
I thought that kid was crying tears of joy for finally getting the hell out of that place.
Oh, no argument here. Stick around. The Danettes are going shopping for some hockey memorabilia. Welcome back to the box score. Jim Craig of the 1980 U.S. hockey team, the Miracle on Ice guys, is selling his entire collection of memorabilia. McLovin, is there ever a day to come that Dan will sell all of his junk out of the man cave?
Oh my God, that's a great question. It'd be worth a lot, but Dan does not let go of his junk easily.
He's such a hoarder.
I know.
It's the hoarder in him that I think he just likes to have all his stuff.
All right, if you had an appraiser, like Steiner Sports had an appraiser walk through this room, if you had to write one check for everything in the room, do you think it's over 50 grand, isn't it?
Oh, definitely over 50.
I mean, okay, you got Favre, Donovan. That's a Lance Armstrong yellow jersey.
You got all those basketball all-star jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bet it's over 50K.
Hey, Craig is selling his memorabilia as a collection, and the producers went out and found an itemized listing of these things that he's putting up on the auction block. We're going to see if you guys know what a few of those items are worth. It's time for another edition of...
Worth or worthless?
Worth or worthless? That's right, my friend Seaton. You guessed correctly. It's every man for himself. You will guess the amount of the item. The price needs to be within a range, and I will give you credit for whatever the auctioneer thinks it's going to get at Lelands.com. Okay. Our first item is for Fritzy. It's Jim Craig's 1980 Winter Olympics participants watch. How much is it?
Ooh, but look at what brand is that? Brock Tag Heuer?
It looks like the band is coming apart on the bottom. I'm going to say participant watch, $173.
You're just a skosh off. It's actually estimated between $10,000 and $20,000.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Take that.
Not the actual price of when it was made.
For the participation one? It's not signed or anything.
Olympics, 1980 Olympics.
I mean, who signs a watch? All right. Second item is for Seaton.
True. You could sign something on the band.
The Levi's jeans wore during the 1980 Winter Olympics opening ceremony. What are those things going for?
I'd love to wear those.
I'm going to say somewhere in the $35 range.
An original price.
Just a touch low. The jeans are actually estimated to go between $20,000 and $30,000.
Oh,
what?
How about that? Yeah, no, didn't I just say 25?
Who's getting?
I said 35. I meant $35,000. So
yeah,
that was, there's 1,000 on the
If you think about it, a comfortable pair of slacks is priceless.
That's true.
Yeah. They're broken and they're vintage.
$50,000.
$30,000 for some skinny jeans.
Those are Lee's.
They could be
just like
chic
that.
or chic jeans.
Can't
All
even
right.
wear 'em.
Our third item is for McLovin. A 1980 Winter Olympics camera in its original leather case. What does it cost?
Remember cameras like that? And you put the cube flash on the top and it spun?
Dude, I had one of those.
Holy moly.
And did you kind of go back, did you cock them like a gun?
Like that?
Yeah.
One.
Oh.
I like the thing with that.
Dude, I would pay a good $7,500 for that. No, $17,500.
Oh, you should have gone with your first guess. $7,500 is right in the middle. It's $5,000 to $10,000 is the estimate for that item.
Oh, that would have been a white-on guess.
Yeah, that would have been a winner.
But maybe you drive the price up.
Damn it, Fritzy.
All right, final item is for Paulie. Jim Craig stopped a lot of pucks with this goalie stick during the Olympics. Give me your price.
Well, first of all, based on the sale prices so far, I hope Jim doesn't spend this money before he gets it because I think he's shooting for the stars for some of these.
But is that from the Russia game, the Finland game? Not neither.
I would like to know what game that stick was used in.
The entire Olympic tournament.
$250,000.
Oh,
Oh, the entire wall.
250.
250, 250,000?
That's correct.
All right, just under what it's estimated at. It's $300,000 to $400,000 is what they think this thing is going to go for.
That's a pretty good guess.
What?
Pretty good guess.
Pretty good.
That's so crazy.
That's a great guess.
Yeah.
I give that a win.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to give it to Paulie, closest to the hole. Very nice.
Well done. Well done.
All right, this is the box score, and we are taking a break to remind you that some of the memorabilia from the box score is probably for sale. The Ram Heavy Duty doesn't need a break. With its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, it would have stopped more goals than Jim Craig. I'm just saying that. It's not going to sell anything. Its memorabilia is staying intact. It's one piece, and it's glorious. It's the Ram Heavy Duty. Guts, glory, Ram.
Seaton, if you'll play the role of Fritzy as he's trying to get out of his costume, the sausage race, and it sounded something like this.
Gotta get out of this thing, guys. Get me out of here. It's getting hot. It's getting hot, guys. Seriously, my arm doesn't bend that way. My arm doesn't bend that way, guys. You gotta get me out of here. Guys, somebody come on. It's not funny, guys. Get me out of here, guys. This is not funny.
I'm glad we're having fun with this.
I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna pass out right now, guys. Somebody get me out of this.
Yeah.
We're closing up shop here at the box score. No bar. As I said, everything is under construction here, and that place is a mess anyway. Seaton, you kill it every time you do that Fritzy imitation from Milwaukee. Now, are you overdoing it or underdoing it, would you say, when you do that impression?
Oh no, I'm not doing it justice at all. Not even by I'm maybe at 25% of the just panic and absolute sheer terror that Todd Fritz was experiencing.
Yeah.
And I did want to get video of it, but unfortunately there are people who are just nicer than me,
Should
I
never
guess,
hire
and
them
frankly
guys.
Paul. And I'm like, dude, you gotta roll on this. You have to get this video. He's like, no way, I'm not doing it.
And the kid kept,
I'm not doing it.
calmly telling me how to bend my arm so that I can get it through the holes of the arm, and it wasn't happening.
Do you think it's at all possible that your insane demeanor during the process contributed to the problem of getting it off? Maybe if you would have taken a breath and realized you're not going to die because there's a hole for air right
Yeah, but
here.
it was very-
and so
I
far,
felt like I
no
was
one.
losing oxygen.
I know you felt like that, but I'm saying, like, in reality, did you think you were actually going to die in that thing?
Not die, but I thought I was going to have to be revived, like I was going to pass out.
Okay.
And just like any panic attack or any type of anxiety moment that anybody has experienced, I'm no expert in that, but I know enough to know that if you're in a more calm state, you have a much better chance of whether it's figuring out a problem or getting out of a situation. No, because your brain will work at a much better level if you're doing something in a relaxed, calm way. Once you're all sweaty and panicked and you think something horrible is going to happen to you, there's just no way you can function at that point. It's certainly not get out of one of those costumes.
It was amazing.
Get me out of this thing. Guys, get me out of this.
Would everyone put $200 in the pot right now for a videotape?
Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would even pay your $200 share as well as mine to see the
Much bigger
video.
guys have gotten out of this very easily. I don't know why can't you just bend your arm?
Snotty
I'll tell you one thing. To be fair to Fritzy,
Giving you attitude.
I don't feel well. Just tell me how to get out of it.
To be fair to Todd, this should have sent a message. Well, Todd's not a huge person. Todd has huge disproportionate arms. So Todd's arms are like bodybuilder arms, especially when he was 30 pounds heavier. And so once they get over there, they didn't want to come back. And he was stuck. And I remember putting my fingers, because I was trying a little bit too.
He's bent over at the waist with his arms teed out like this, and people pulling on this thing, trying to get him.
It wasn't budging. I'm like,
and then we were trying to straighten his arms so that it would slide forward.
Once you have the mindset that
it's not working, guys.
you're losing air and this is not coming off, it's
Yelling
everyone's
helps.
best efforts.
When you're losing air, yelling helps.
Yelling at everyone.
I
trying
don't
to
think
help.
things got bright. I
It was
really thought
so
I was going to
funny.
go out.
It was fantastic.
So funny.
No offense.
Just imagine the people from concessions running over with butter popcorn and throwing it all over your arms to get that thing off. All right, Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
We may hear from Fox College football writer Bruce Feldman.
Does he know this?
He is not aware of that. We may hear from a lot of people. So yeah, we're still figuring out the Friday edition.
No pressure, Bruce.
And then we're heading to lovely Marina Del Rey, California, to the LA studios
Land
to
of
see you
fruits and
guys
nuts.
next week.
Marina Del Rey. All right, it's a surprise for guests. It'll be a surprise tomorrow. We're going to have this set. It's going to be completely different. The box score returns on Audience Channel 239. The podcast is available on iTunes or podcast1.com. I don't have a drink, but hey, here's to Rick.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple.
C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!